Master your mind to master your life. All right. Hey, what's happening, everybody? Super nice to see all of you today. Do me a favor, type in the chat bar where you logging in from, what part of the world, and why don't you tell me a little bit about what you do too? That'll be kind of cool. What's up, Taylor? Am I saying that right? Thumbs up. Okay, I said it. All right, good. And James, what's happening? Matt, what's up? Danielle. Good day from down under. I don't know if that's the proper way to say it, but okay. All right, from down under. Sherry Hawkins, what's happening? Kathy Heelan on the move. I could tell she's on the move. Looks like we got Lou Police on. Sangita, what's happening? All right, those of you not on camera, unless you are like naked, which some of us might just find that amusing. We might find that a little amusing. But if you're in an appropriate way, why don't you turn on your cameras? Okay. Cause it's so weird. Like if we're talking like at just the black screen or something. But I understand sometimes you're in a certain predicament. You got to deal with that. John Roll, what's happening? Azim, what's going on? Matthew. Okay. Brian, nice to see all of you. We have a lot of information. Okay. We're going to move fast and furious. Now, if you're new to my world, like you're new to being on a training or something like this, can you just type in new in the chat bar? If you're new to my world, if you've been in my world a while, then why don't you type in, how long have you been in my world? How long have you been in my world? Okay. Yeah. New. Welcome. Aaron, 8+ years. Yeah. Long time. 4 years. Tim, super nice to see you. Nathaniel, what's happening? Many years. Okay. Sherry's like, I lost count. I hear you talking to me all the time. John Roll. Okay. Get a pen and paper ready, everybody. Get a pen and paper ready. And today this is all about mastermind, mastering your mind. Okay. And this is going to be one of those trainings where I'm going to talk with you, not at you. Lou Police, he gets 14 years. So he gets the win besides my son and my wife there. And some things about mastering your mind that we're going to go through. And if you've been in my world, you know that I go fast and furious. How many of you want to make sure you get the replay of this? Can you type in replay in the chat bar? Because you're like, man, you're going to move so quick. There's going to be some things I want. Can you just do us a favor here? Give us the replay. All right. I'll definitely give you the replay. Let me tell you how to get the replay. Just go right here. All right. My team's going to put the link in the chat bar. There's also a QR code. So if you want to take out, and you know what? Some of you, I don't know if everybody knows how to use a QR code. Some people do. I didn't for many years. But if you turn on your camera, like you were going to take a picture of me, and you hold your camera over top of that QR code, the little link comes up, you push the button, boom, it'll bring you right here. Now, this is a Facebook group that's called Personal Growth and Mindset Mastery. Soon as the training's done, we will edit it. Normally takes about a day. Boom, we'll throw it right in. Give me a big boom in the chat bar. When I say boom, you say boom. Okay, let's just have a little fun here. We'll put it right inside the free group under the guides. Now, little tip for some of you, there's a whole bunch of other trainings there. Okay, there's a whole bunch of trainings. The Money Cure, you all should go. How many of you have watched the Money Cure? Can you type in Money Cure in the chat bar? If you haven't watched it, can you put a question mark in the chat bar? And I want you all to watch the Money Cure, okay? Because it will help align you with money. Now, the next thing is, some of you might have the physical book, okay, Mind Power. That's my new book. But if you want a digital copy, how many of you would like to just have a digital copy? Can you type digital in the chat bar? You're like, you know what? Let's give me a digital copy. I'm going to throw it in my tablet, check it out on a flight. All right, David, good news. We're going to put the digital copy in the Facebook group. But guys, we're not going to leave the digital copy in there forever. We're going to do it for 72 hours. So go in, get it. If you don't like the group for something, get the hell out. I'm sure you'll like the group, but I just don't want the digital copy floating around. Okay. So we'll put it in there. It might already be, Aaron might already put it in there for you guys. Okay. He gave me a thumbs up. He says it's in there already. So you guys can go get the digital copy. Now, if you're like me, I love a physical copy. Is anybody else addicted to books? Can you put addiction in the, like you're just addicted to them? Like you go to Barnes and Noble, you're just leaving with like 4 magazines and 5 books, right? Yeah, me too. If you're somebody who likes a physical copy, because me, I highlight, I write, I fold like maybe my school teacher would have an anxiety attack. I'm like folding pages, circling things. Okay, that's how I roll. Do you roll that way too? Give me a big boom if you roll that way too. And go there to the free book. We'll ship you a book. You're just paying shipping for it. So you're not paying the cost on Amazon for the book. And the link's right there. My team will dump it in. We're not making anything off shipping. It's just a favor for you because you want to have a physical book. If you are going to buy a physical book, I'll tell you what I've been doing for many years. I'm going to give you a good tip is every time I bought a book like this, I always bought 2 or 3 and I gave them to people to align them. Now we have amazing feedback on this book already. Today's really like the official launching. We've done very, little tidbits out there. I was in Florida with my family last week. I gave out 100 and something books there. But the feedback has been phenomenal. So enjoy that. This training here, I just want to let you know, it's a life training. It's to help you enhance your life and get results in all areas of your life. It's not a business training. Here's what I learned. Okay, one of my greatest awakenings to discover was in order to have a bigger business, a bigger anything, you have to create a bigger life. If you think that's true, type in true in the chat bar. Now I'll share some of the businesses I built, and not because I need you to say congrats or great job. I just want to let you know what I learned so you could learn it hopefully decades earlier, right? I learned when you optimize yourself, everything else you desire follows. Let me say that again. When you optimize yourself, everything else follows. Now, I always get people on these trainings. They're like, yeah, I get it. It's all about your brain and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, but are you exactly where you wanted to be? And if not, you have a good story to tell, but you're not getting the results, which means there's something that we have to tweak or modify or shift. And I want to help you make some of those shifts. Okay. I want to help you make some of those shifts. Quick little disclaimer. On the top half, of course, anything I say during the training, you should check with your attorney, your financial advisor. We are not giving you medical advice. This is not professional advice. We're making no representation whatsoever regarding that you are going to achieve certain results. But the bottom disclaimer, we will tell you, we will provide you with a lot of really good information, and we're not going to take your success either. Like you're going to have massive success and we're going to be proud of you for it. All right. So there's my disclaimers. Let's dig into it. Life can be better than ever. And if you think, just even if it's the slightest thought that life could be a little better, why don't you type in better in the chat bar? Could it be a little better? I mean, look, you have many responsibilities, demands, and pressure in life. Okay, who knows what it feels like to be in the life pressure cooker a little bit? Type in pressure cooker in the chat bar if you know about the life's pressure cooker. You're going to know that I know about the pressure cooker. When you see the businesses I built, I understand the pressure cooker, baby. I got it. I know what it feels like when you're like, holy mackerel. And you also, though, you have this pressure cooker, but you have hopes and dreams. You have these amazing dreams that you desire to have. And some of those dreams, right? They're for the future. You see them, you could taste it, you want it sooner. But what if you could achieve those dreams now? Like right now. Now I'm not talking about snap your fingers, it's there, but I'm talking about having it start to create itself at will, to the point you wake up the next day, you go, man, things are just falling into place. This is a lot of the stuff we're going to tackle. But for some of you that are new, some of you have been in my world a long time. If you've been in my world a long time, embrace what I'm sharing and look at yourself within that. This is me. I'm an electrician. Any other trades people on here? Type in trades. What are you? Plumber, HVAC, electrician? What do you do for a living? You're a coach. What are you, right? So I know what it's like because I'm an electrician by trade, which means I am no foreigner to climbing in an attic, getting nasty insulation, and like having to pick that stuff out of my back for like weeks. And for you guys, like, is it okay if I curse a little bit? Are you going to freak the hell out? Or can I have permission to be myself? Can you tell me in the chat bar? Can you be like, permission granted? Like, Mike, just be yourself tonight. Okay. So thank you. I'm going to be me. But like, that shit was painful as life went on. I mean, when I was young, right? That shit was like training in an attic. You're like, you got Romex or NM cable, like hook that shit around your belt. You're climbing through the corners, the peaks of the attic. You're like stapling it with your teeth, right? Nothing bothers you. But man, throw a decade on those knees. Can anybody relate? Type relate. Throw a decade on those knees and you go to a job and look and you're like, I got to run the wire where? Man, that better be enough money for a new knee replacement, right? And look, I've been doing that really, really young. Okay, I went to a vocational school. So I've been touching electrical work since I'm 15, and I am level 51. On May 29th, I'll be level 52. I don't know why the hell you would ever say you're 51 years old. You want to get more powerful. What level are you guys? Type in level, and I won't know if it's true anyway, so you can make it up. But a couple of weeks, I'll be level 52. But when I look back here, I was probably 17 there. This is me when I was doing a lot of commercial work. TGI Fridays, Big and Tall, Sleepy Stores, Wendy's, you name it, Explosion Proof. That was my game. Eventually, I changed it. I'll share a little more about that. Did big blueprints, $1 million job, was taking on the legends in the industry in New Jersey. And there is me and my beautiful wife when we got married. Now, she's on here. We've been together since we're 15. If you've been together that long, you know a couple things. You know how to make each other happy and you know how to piss each other off really well. But the test of time is called growth. And if you understand and like you want to learn how to grow more, can you type in growth in the chat bar? And you're probably only here because you're like, you know what, Mike, I get it. But tell me, how did you figure it out? Like, what did you figure out? One, I figured out, and is there any martial artist in the house? Type in martial artist if there's a martial artist. Like, first, I figured it out through martial art. Okay, over 3 decades of martial arts since I've been 15 years old. There's a cool picture of me in a very, very intense martial arts situation at that moment. Really intense, understanding energy. Yep, Trainer Mike's in the house. What's up, Trainer Mike? And as I was doing martial arts, growing an electrical business, I started to find out, like, wait a minute, like this picture here, this is my daughter when she was little. She's 20 now. So I'm probably not going to be in my arms like that with a credit card. They said, Lou Police, they said I was probably calling for pizza or something. I'm pretty sure I was ordering parts for a job. I started to figure out early on, well, wait a second. There's not a life business balance. This is bullshit, everybody. There's no life business balance. Let me tell you what the balance is. It is your thought balance, period. That's it. It's your thought balance. Because if it was life business balance, I don't know about you, anybody who works in a career, like you can lose time. You can lose time. But does that mean you're out of balance? No, in your mind, you're rate balanced. You're like, this is what I'm doing right at this point. I also did a lot of thinking. whole lot of thinking over the years about why I was doing things that seemed to work and why I was doing things that did not work at all. And I tried to connect the dots. Okay. I tried to connect the dots, Shannon, to say, wait a second. Why does one day go great and another day feel like it's out of control? Can you guys relate to chaos? Type in chaos if you could relate to chaos. And I started to hang out with really smart people, real smart people, because I learned, and you think I would have learned it sooner, I didn't. Being a martial artist and teaching now for almost 3 decades, I would go to people that were tougher than me, quicker than me, smarter than me to learn things. But I didn't put that piece together in the business side of things. It took me years to figure that out. But I did find out one thing through over the over 3 decades of martial arts is I never stopped focusing on myself. I never stopped focusing on my mind, my body, my spirit, and what created me. And I think as you go through this training, you're going to find that there's some differentiators for maybe for you to go, hang on a minute. Maybe I got to think a little bit different about life. Let's keep building it. Now, life is a really amazing life right now. My whole family, we're in Florida. We have this little RV. We drove there. There's my beautiful wife. Here's my son. My son's he was born on my birthday. So it's been one of the, amazing birthday gift. And he's going to be turning 23. And he's has his own virtual martial arts business. He works in a business with me and Aaron and my wife. And if you look at like life, and I'm going to share something about business in a minute, but let me share this picture. This is me and my daughter less than a month ago. Does anybody live in California? We went to California, San Diego. We like zip lined over the top of gazelles and stuff. It was super cool. We got, I got this, well, you probably can't see it good because who's tattooed? Anybody type in tattoo? Like, is anybody tattooed here? Okay, well, I got a fair amount of them, but we did get, I got a little daddy-daughter tattoo. Those of you that don't have tattoos, you have time. You could say, yeah, Greg, you can still get a tattoo. Like, most people that are 50, 60, you're like, no, my mom would be upset. I'm like, you're like level 50 now. Your mom will get the hell over it, right? But here's something else that I learned as we're looking at a best life ever. And now that I look at my kids that are entrepreneurs running their own businesses for years and years, my son authored his own book. My daughter, 20, just drove to Florida by herself and back. That was like nerve-wracking for a dad. Can anybody else, can you type in, is that like nerve-wracking when, like, does that ever go away? Those of you that have kids that are like way older, does that ever go away that like, you're just so like, you're concerned, but you're also excited for them? Here's the thing about the balance part, right? Is I've always included our kids, my wife and I, in our world, the whole world, not just the life world. So maybe a little thing for you guys to consider that. And who's a business owner? Type in business owner. Like, don't exclude your kids from what you think is your business hell. Allow them into the fold. Because when I hear people tell me, especially a lot of trade people, because I've been in that world a long time, I hear trade people say, oh, my wife says, you're not home enough. I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, why isn't she coming to the job to visit you? Some of my greatest memories is like me wiring a new house and my wife pulling up when my son was a little baby and bringing me either grilled cheese or something and soup and sitting there on a construction job and walking my son through. So maybe that's something that some of you need to hear. Like, don't let your kids miss out on those things, because the education they're going to get from you from life, I guarantee, and you tell me if you agree or not, it's going to be better than any college education you could ever give them, is going to be the life education. Is that true? Give me a true or a boom in the chat bar there. Now, okay, so Mike, you seem a little intense. It's my first time here with you. Not sure I could handle you yet. Well, let me just let you know how this worked out, right? I built a service company called Gold Medal. Lou's here. Lou still works there. Lou worked for me. It's always been an honor to have him in my world as a friend and as a team member. I took it to 32 million a year. So in a 10-year period, we went from under $1 million to 32 million, 200 employees, 165 trucks, double-digit profit. And I believe we were the #1 plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, drain cleaning, and so many more trades in New Jersey. Now, if you're in New Jersey, type in New Jersey, okay? And I worked really hard to make it #1 because I cared so much about my people. I cared so much about the customers. I cared so much about New Jersey. And then I sold it in 2017, which was a really great day for me. Not because I sold it, because the thing was doing its mojo. It was running itself for 5 years without me. Lou will tell you, I didn't have an office there. I would go there, visit, do the meetings, play rock and roll music and stuff. But it ran itself. I sold it because and let this one sit in a minute. Let this settle in a minute. And I might ruffle some feathers. So if I do, you can flip me the middle finger, then bounce off Zoom. It's okay. You won't offend me. If you're still doing what you're doing for over 3 decades, the same thing, you may not be personally growing. I want you to, if you're still doing what you're doing for over 3 decades, I don't care if you love it, you're probably not personally growing. See, I knew I was expanding. That's why I'm doing this training, to help you expand. And then I went and built the #1 training and implementation organization in the space for trade people. That's called CEO Warrior, down the bottom there. If you know CEO Warrior, type in CEO Warrior. If you don't, write down CEOwarrior.com. If you're looking for business training on marketing, sales, operations, systems, boom, check them out, go over there. And I built that into a movement. And then I brought on partners in 2020. I had another acquisition because why? Because I was expanding, and it would have been selfish for me to just stay in that environment and just be doing that and not doing and helping the world. And some of you, have any of you read my books? Can you type in books in the chat bar? I've done over 18 books. I have the new book here now. I spent a lot of time with cool people, and it might be cool to know, I'm not done. I'm not even warmed up yet. I'm only going to be level 52, and I'm going for level 140. What level are you guys going for? You guys dead at 85, or am I going to just have to tell legendary stories about all of you? Or are you going to go for 120, 130, 140? What are you going to do? 100? Okay, that's good. I'll take 140. You could join me with it, right? And not only do we have Food Dog, which is about helping people, right? Here's what I found out. Tell me if you could relate to this. There's so many places for people to grow businesses, right? But there's not so many places for them to grow personally. And there's not so many places where they can grow personally with their partner, right? I mean, I went for decades. I went to business trainings. Why? My wife didn't want to go and listen to marketing or how to manage inventory, right? So what happens? Write this down, everybody. I don't care who it is in your world. If you're not growing together, you're growing apart. I hope you don't have to challenge that someday. I learned it. If you're not growing together, you're growing apart. I know that because my wife and I had to learn through that transition ourselves. We do have another business called Business Forge. That's a company where we take equity in companies and we help them go to an exit in 3 to 5 years. So if you know anybody that's looking to bring on a killer partner, we are not doing the blue collar space. So if it's plumbing, HVAC, electrical, I'm not in that space to do that. But if there's any other companies, marketing or SaaS companies, dental, chiropractors, or anything like that, and you know somebody who wants to scale quick and thinks there would be value in having me on their team with my team to come in and help create legacy style wealth, boom. Can you give me a boom in the chat bar? Hit me up. And we have one more company that's being built, which is called Impact 360, which is a marketing agency. Again, I'm not in the blue collar space, so don't hit me up for that. If you need that type of resource, let me know. I'll tee up with some other people. But for companies that we partner with, we want to create people into our authority and influence. Now, I hope this whole intro right here is already creating some mind expansion for you. Can you type in mind expansion if you're expanding by listening through what I'm sharing? Because I want you to not look at what I'm doing, but say to yourself, what level am I playing at as a person? What level are you playing at in life, right? And I want you to know, for me and my whole team, like, we're making a huge impact. Like, we're in dozens of countries, we're hundreds of hours of training, thousands of people impacted. You're helping that. We bring a lot of value, and our goal is to impact 1 million people or more in a decade or less, or 100 countries or more. Why? Because somebody's got to go out there and help shift humanity. Be honest with me. Humanity as a whole, amazing or a little bit in the shitter right now? What do you guys think? No wrong answers. Like, come on. Like, really? We needed this other mess, and the gas mess, and the killing mess. Like somehow we have to go out there. And by you being here, you could be another catalyst for that. You could be another catalyst. Okay. And it's not just me saying, hey, we're kind of cool, we do good things. Like, Kevin Harrington says it, right? He says, like, we've cracked the code. And I value what he says. High-level business person, one of the original sharks on Shark Tank, or Jay Abraham, right? I value. Do you know who Jay is? Type in Jay in the chat bar, right? He's the highest paid consultant on earth, right? He said, we're transforming individual enrichment from the inside out. Like, I value that. That justifies, like, okay, we're not just doing average stuff. We're impacting humans in a big way so we could impact the world. Now, if you didn't get a chance for the Mind Power book, okay, which you're going to get the digital copy, go in the Facebook group, right? We probably got a team member letting you in already, or get the copy, pay for the shipping. But let me give you a couple pieces out of that book for a minute. So it excites you to go deeper in it, but also starts to get your brain to start to expand more. One of the parts I talk about in the book is right here, is this thought, word, and deed, right? What you think about, what you say, and what you do with what you think and what you say. Your words create outcomes. Now, I know you probably heard this before, but let me share the simplest example that I've ever heard. Now, how many of you have ever lost some weight? Type in lost in the chat bar. Like, you lost 5 pounds, 10 pounds, what? And thank you for interacting. You guys are amazing. Okay, so a bunch of you lost it. Now, here's what I learned. The brain is such a tool, okay? It's such a tool, David, that whatever you say you lost, your brain goes, oh, David, I am sorry we let you down. You lost weight. Let me go get you double. Did any of you ever lose 10 pounds and gain 20? Hello? Yeah, because the brain doesn't want to let you down. That's why we say this. You never lost weight. You released it. You let it go. I still have a little bit. I don't know if Trainer Mike's still on. He might get on my ass and want to start drilling me with some Muay Thai things or something. But like, I want to release more. That's what you want to do. That's how thought, word, and deed works, right? But thought, word, and deed without a mind, right? Without a mind, that's why you're here. Your thinking creates all reality, and your reality you're in control of. You are. But the mind with a not good body, the mind only has one task: try to keep the body alive. That's why when I look at business owners, I look at people that are trying to go next level, I said, look, you got to understand the correlation to the mind and body. First off, I'm a believer the mind can heal all things. Just my belief, just my belief. You could have your own. I won't judge you on anything you have. Try not to judge me. But should we make it hard on our mind? Like, should we be like, you know what? I'm just going to drink like 42 cups of coffee. I'm going to slam down some alcohol every day, smoke a couple joints, and then, you know what, mind? Can you go clean up the mess? It doesn't work that easy, right? So our mind, aligned with our body, guess what that does? That creates a higher level of spirit, whatever you want to call spirit. Spirit is higher level connection to your highest belief system. Now, your highest belief system may be Jesus or God or a Buddha. I don't care who it is. But can you be really connected at the level you desire with a confused mind and a destroyed body? Probably gets a little tough. Would you type in tough if you think that gets a little tougher? So inside the book, we talk about that. I want you to read that section. Now, the next thing is down here on the bottom, we talk about surrounding yourself with like-minded, growth-minded people. Now, it's not so much who you surround yourself with, it's how you surround yourself with like-minded people. Because if you're on here right now and you're just, you're just on the bench, this is entertainment for you, well, you're learning, but guess what? You're not supporting, you're not interacting, which is restricting you and not expanding you. That's why I'm pushing you to go in the chat bar, not because I need you to talk to me. I could just do like people do these trainings and they don't see anybody and they just talk to the void. I do it because I know that expansion comes from participation. Write that down, everybody. Expansion comes from participation. So the good news is you're around like-minded people, okay? Or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. Everybody wants to evolve their mind. And without going too deep into it, right? There's a couple levels here. And one of the levels that you have is like, you have your conscious mind, right? You thinking right now, processing. And then you have your unconscious mind. And I want you to look at unconscious mind like this. Who knows what a Commodore 64 computer is? Type in 64. Does any of you, do you know? Okay, all right. Me and David. Some of you, you're too young. You don't know what a Commodore 64 is, right? Like overpriced, and like you could hit enough keys to make like a Pac-Man move or something. Yeah, it's like a Atari, probably before Atari. And so I want you to imagine a Commodore 64 computer. Are any of you running your life off a Commodore 64 computer? Like you go into work and you break out the Commodore 6. Could you even buy one of those today? I should just try to buy it for an example to have for you. But wait a second. How many of you have a Commodore 64 computer system in your mind? Do any of you know somebody, your mom, your dad, an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, that they still are the same person and never evolved their thinking? Like they're still reading the newspaper. They're not going to do the Facebook thing. Like they're still saying, I eat food. Like no what we call evolution and no ascension, right? So when you look at the conscious mind and the unconscious, there is one more. There is one more. We call it a super conscious. And the super conscious is a power that most people don't even know how to relate to, right? It's so easy to float on a ball in space and forget like Earth is one globe of thousands, right? We're in one galaxy of thousands of galaxies. So do any of you know where the beginning and end of time is? Like, can you tell me where the beginning and like, can we get on a highway and like drive and we know eventually in the big universe, we get to an end and there's like, one of these Five Guy burger joints or something like you don't know, which means this super conscious has you the ability. I know the world doesn't want you to think this way. So let me just share it with you. The world, James, does not want you to know you have the ability to create at will, to build things bigger than you imagine. See, I tapped into that decades ago. That's how I built a $32 million business. That's how I built the largest training and implementation organization, right? That's how I believe that we will shift humanity, because I understand that the superconscious is something that all of you are invited to, but a lot of you maybe don't want to show up for the party because your mind has been either hacked or you got a Commodore 64 software system in there. And I want to help you up level that. Now, real quick, because I know some of you may not hang the whole time with me. I hope you do. Are you getting value? Can you type in value in the chat bar? Because look, I've been on a lot of trainings for my life, and a lot of them give no value, right? And I want to always make sure you have value. We do have a training coming up in June that's called Mind Power Unlimited Potential. The dates are below. It's at nighttime. So it's like 7 to 9:30 Eastern time. We make that so people in Australia and all over the world can attend. And if any of you are interested in that, you could just type in interested in the chat bar, and then my team will private message you, grab your email, and then we'll reach out to you, okay? Make sure the dates work. I will share with you what Mind Power Unlimited Potential training is. It's for me and my team to gift you through this training everything that I learned to create a relationship for over 3 decades, mastery level of skill over 3 decades, building empire-sized businesses over 3 decades. I am going to help you stretch and expand. And if it's okay with you, it will be virtual. If it's okay with you, during the training, we will work really hard to remove guilt, shame. Is it okay? Or is anybody like good if we say all good? Like, can we remove some guilt, some shame, maybe a little bit of like childhood bully trauma? Like, we're going to tackle all of this so I can help you go forward into your next level 140, whatever you're going to go for, and help you get more in a year than you might have possibly gotten in a decade with the thinking you have today. Now, you don't have to be scared about the training. I'm going to be there with you. My team's going to be there with you. We're going to guide you, and it's going to be a nice environment, safe environment where you don't have to feel weird about saying my life is in chaos or my wheels are falling off the bus, or guess what? I've been living with guilt and shame for 40 years. Or maybe everything's going good and you just know if you want to go for 100 million in wealth someday, that you better get this dialed in. Yeah, and for some of you, if some of the dates are off, no sweat. We record it, okay? We record it and you get the recording for the time you missed. Of course, we want to get you in the game with us, right? Like, there's nothing like this here, but if you miss one, we'll record it. So that's enough about that. I didn't come here I'm not trying to convince you about it, right? At this stage in my life, I just want to shift humanity, and I'm just inviting you to something that I believe would help you. All right, time to dig in. Type in dig in, everybody. Type in dig in the chat bar. Let's do it. So here's how most people do the gap analysis. And I know I got a lot of business leaders and entrepreneurs and career-minded people on here. And you know the gap analysis. It's like this. It's like, hey, where are you at right now? Right? Like, I'm winning or I'm struggling. Right? I love my relationship, or I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I loved my relationship, but now I'm divorced and I still haven't recovered over that shit. You're still replaying it like it happened yesterday. It's so interesting. It's fascinating to me because I've been looking at human behavior for over 30 years for no other reason but to solve myself and what made me think things. And I come across people and I say, oh, how things are, divorced. When? Oh, 15 years ago. I said, you've been carrying this misery for 15 years? Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, you don't have to live with that type of suffering. So it's where you are now. And guess what? Where you want to go. This is traditional gap analysis and the steps to get there. But I think with people, and if you heard the gap analysis before, type in gap, GAP in the chat bar. And if it's new to you, type in new to you. And then I'm going to solve a piece for you guys. Let me solve the piece for all of you. Okay. It's more about this, where you are now, where you want to go, and how to think differently. All right, give me a boom. Come on, lay it on me. Give me a big boom in the chat bar. How to think differently. How can you see? This is what I figured out. David, Sherry, this is what I figured out. How can you have action steps without thinking different? You can't. You can't. You'll never get to where you want to go. You have to think different to get there. If that makes sense, give me a big old makes sense in the chat bar. Now, we're just getting into number one, okay? Value or massive value you're getting? I want to know, because if you're not getting massive value, I'll shame the shit out of myself later and I will work harder. Okay, so I'm going for massive value, not just like a little bit of value tonight here. Those of you in my world, you know, I show up for you and I'm showing up. Okay, mastermind step number one. You have to evaluate your current reality. The first step is to evaluate your current identity, which creates your current reality. Now, this is your mind's picture of who you are. And it could be holding you back because when you look at this, and a lot of you, I bet, well, you probably brushed your teeth this morning. I hope so, right? You brushed your teeth this morning, but you don't remember seeing yourself in the mirror. Think about it. Think to this morning. Do you remember seeing yourself or just brushing your teeth and making sure you didn't have crap on your face? Most people do, okay, and they move on. Because what happens is you almost been trained to look away, right? To look away. Because your current identity you see versus who you could be. You see yourself and you're like, I'm older. I didn't get the wealth I wanted. I'm complaining about gas. Through that mind power training, I promise you, when we're done training your mind, you won't be bitching about gas prices no more because it will be immaterial to you compared to what you could create in your life. Type in the chat bar, what type of people are not complaining about gas right now? Tell me in the chat bar. You could just put Mike. That's okay. You could put me in there. I'll take it. What kind of people don't complain about gas? Now, that's an identity thing. So if you see yourself and you're surrounded around everyone else that's complaining about gas and complaining about the recession and complaining about the blah, 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 right? Then this is your identity that you see. Write this down. Your identity is by one of two things, created by yourself, or it is a reflection of your past. That's it. It's either created by design or your identity is total default. Total default. And how many of you, let me just try to make it super simple. What's up, Patrick? Let me make it super, is that Patrick or Patiak? Okay, Robert, tell me which one in the chat bar so I get that right. Okay, how about this? How many of you know that there's another level? Type in another level in the chat bar. Tell me there's another level. If you know that there's another level, how many of you know that to get to that level, you must create a new identity? Type in identity. You know that you cannot go to another level with the same way you are today, or you would be there. You would be there. Someone said that to me. It stung like a bitch. I said, I'm going there. What are you going to change? Oh, I'm going to do this and that and this. You're not going there. And I was like, don't you tell me I'm not going there. I go, you're not, because you didn't answer the number one question he told me. This was someone, do you guys like hurtful truth or comforting lies? I'm a hurtful truth guy. Like, throw it down, tell it to me. Don't sugarcoat the shit. I work real hard in that. Some people don't because they get father flashbacks and stuff, right? And he goes, no, you're not. You're not going to go there because you didn't say the number one thing it takes to go there. And I was like, okay, Mr. Big Shot, tell me. He goes, you didn't say change yourself. And then, when you swallow twice, like you don't know if you like throwing up in your mouth. I was like, oh my God, that's right. That's 100% correct. Like, if I don't change myself, how could I ever get there? Now, people look at a lot of my success I have. They look at the service company that I grew and they go, well, how'd you do that? I'm doing marketing. I'm doing sales. I said, I changed myself. I built an identity and I let my greatest future I desired. I don't want to go past this too fast. Okay. I built an identity to let my greatest future's desire catch up to me, not me catch up to it. You can't catch up to it. If you're trying to change your identity while you're growing your life, you're on a hamster wheel. If you can relate, type in relate. Like, did you ever feel like you're on a hamster wheel? We used to own a guinea pig. Sucker would get on the wheel, run 1,000,000 miles an hour, and never get to where it needed to go. But that sucker would run and get off, and the wheel is exactly where it is. If you've been on a hamster wheel, let me tell you what the hamster wheel is. It's your mind. It's your thinking process. And every one of you can evolve and ascend. I promise you. If we could go to are you ready for number 2? Say, bring on number 2 in the chat bar. Be like, Mike, bring on number 2. Okay. So that's your current identity. Number 2, this is a big one. Most people try to add on things, but what they don't realize is it's resistance that you have to remove. The second step is to identify your mind's resistance. This resistance includes limiting beliefs that impact your past, your present, and your future. Now, what are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are like this, everybody. Like, the simplest limiting belief that my dad used to tell me as a kid, and I bet some of you dads on here probably said it too. You don't really hear mom say it too much. They say, money doesn't grow on trees. Now, is that true? Does money not grow on trees? Like, if I had lemon trees, orange trees, and I picked them off and sold it, isn't money growing on trees? To the farmer, money grows on trees. So I told my dad when I was probably doing maybe 15 million, I said, Dad, money does grow on trees. That was a limiting belief. He goes, I just told you what my dad told me and his dad told him. So people in the world are living with that. Let me give you another one, and you may not think that it affects you. But as parents, I'm so curious, how many of you carried on this same belief? When I was a young kid, I found a quarter on the ground. And I picked it up and I was so excited. I was like, Mom, I found a quarter. And she's like, oh, that's so great. Now go wash your hands. Money is dirty. Now, I bet a lot of you had your kids, they counted their Christmas money or their birthday money, and the husband or wife or mom or dad said, go wash your hands. It's dirty. Now, if we go back to the brain of thought, word, and deed, you think that disappeared because today you don't think money's dirty? Some of you are very conflicted right now going, wait a minute. Maybe in my mind, I do think it's dirty. How many of you were told as a kid, don't be greedy, take a little piece? Type in greedy in the chat bar. Were you told this? Don't be greedy. Leave a lot for other people. And so you wonder, did that create you unwilling to ever take anything? Has it held you back? Now, these limiting beliefs have been stacked upon you, and that's our Commodore 64. Boom, in our software system. It's our past that's affecting our present and keeping our future far away. So I get people all the time that say, I'm going to create this and I'm going to build that. And I go, perfect. What resistance do you need to remove to do it? And they go, oh, well, I'll have to fire a guy. And I'm like, you're not going to get there. And they go, why? I said, because it's not ready? Write this down, everybody. It's not the external resistance. It's the internal resistance. Now, how many of you do I have a little, like you're freaking out a little bit, either in a good way or a freaky way? Type in freaking out a little bit. Are you freaking out a little bit? Right? Now, I'm only telling you, not because I learned it. There's so many of these people out there teaching shit, but they never went through hell. They never went through darkness. They didn't feel the struggles of like $1 million lawsuit. They didn't feel the pain and suffering, and they tried to teach it. I will promise you that if I pull up my shirt in the back, there's scars and wounds and deep grooves in there that not only did I have to heal, I didn't. Ready for another one? Can you guys handle this? Type in, I can handle it. Can you handle it? Okay. I don't want to solve the problem. I want to understand the problem. I don't want to solve things. I want to understand things, right? Like when people are suffering, I want to understand it, because if you solve it, it will come back again. If you understand it and replace the way that that situation is, everything changes. Told you, this is why you want the recording, right? Write this down. Things are not difficult. David, they're different. David, things are not difficult. They're different. Growing $100 million in wealth is not difficult. It's different. How do I know? Well, because in the business, CEO Warrior, that I partnered with somebody and exited out of there, in the last 15 months, 20 companies sold, and 80% of them become decamillionaires. You know what a decamillionaire is? That means they have 10 million or more dumped in their bank account. You know why? Exactly what I'm sharing here. You can't create an empire with limiting beliefs that are holding you back. If you were bullied as a kid and you didn't get rid of that, that shit's holding you back. If your parents said, you'll never become anything, or you fail at everything, or everything you try to do. I mean, I look at, my wife and I have done a fair amount of relationship training throughout the years. It's always cool. If we do just a relationship training, how many of you'd want to come to it? They're really fun. Me and my wife might get in an argument in front of all you. It's so beautiful to watch. At the end, you see all kinds of real life stuff happening right there, right? But as we look at these beliefs and stuff, a lot of times the unaddressed past situation is the thing that's holding back everything. And look, layers and layers. You don't fix this overnight. You got to chip away. And when you chip away, you find out there's something a little further down. How many of you, and you don't have to say it, but how many of you live with some form, you either know it or you don't, but it could be there, of shame of some kind? Shit, I know so many successful people that live with shame. They're shamed that they're successful. And then people try to shame them more. They're like, Nicole, how's it feel to be lucky? You're so lucky. I'm like, lucky? You think me, 11:30 at night, climbing through an attic, chewing and swallowing insulation, sniffing rat shit in there, you call that luck? Well, I'll tell you what, welcome to my world of luck. There's no lucky. It's called change, and it's called mind power. The ability to reframe, change, reshift, remodify. When you have this, everything, the way you hear this training is different. I guarantee some of you that have been in my world, you're hearing this training different than you would have 5 years ago. Some of you that are brand new are just hearing it and you're going, okay, I'm expanding. You can only expand at the level you're at. Now let's look at number 3. If you have identities, and we always said like, hey, we know identity is important, right? And you hear this thing, 10x. And I like the theory of 10x. Like if you like the theory of 10x, type in 10x in the chat bar. I like the theory of 10xing things. It's a very good value proposition to 10x things. Here's what most people don't tell you. In order to 10x anything, David, you have to 20x yourself. No one tells you this. No one tells you this. They tell you 10x, but they don't tell you to 10x. You got to 20x yourself, because how can you 10x anything with the same level of thinking process? You can't. Ready for the next thing they don't tell you? Okay. I'm laying it. I came here to show up for all of you. I'm like sweating. I got the window open. My armpits are sweating and shit here. Here's what they don't tell you. See this? This is a life wheel. So if I 10x my business and I don't 10x my relationship, how many of you, just type in relate, How many of you can relate building a business and slowly killing your relationship? Be upfront with me. Come on. Like me too. I get it. All right. Now, if your identity is build a business, but not your health, how many of you have worked so hard on your business, you sacrificed your health? Come on. I am like French toast sticks at Burger King in the morning, baby. Driving in that van, give me French toast sticks. Me and my partner, we were in for the day. Matter of fact, you got 2 of them because in about an hour, you're going to eat the second run of those bad boys. Like that's focusing on business and sacrificing my health. If you look at this wheel, the more we get our mind aligned on everyone. Now, look, you all of a sudden, can you have a bad, I don't want to say bad, there's no good or bad. Can you have a identity for your career that's not where it's at and have an identity for wealth? Like, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. Like you're here because you're probably creating identity. If you look on the over here, right? Growth and learning. Now, let me summarize something for you. A lot of people, I share this, but most people don't talk about it. You've probably seen life wheels before. And most of the time, 10 is on the outside. You want to know why 10's on the inside? Type in tell me in the chat bar. I'll tell you why. Because everything happens on the inside before the outside. That's called human. Right, Lou? It's human. If you don't fix the inside, you can't get the outside. Okay, ready? Here it comes. You cannot love somebody to the greatest ability you want if you don't love yourself. True? Give me a true or boom in the chat bar. Come on. You cannot truly love your kids if you do not love yourself. You can't. That's the power of creating the identity. And one of the first identities is the identity of self-love, self-respect. I know some of you don't even respect yourself. You know why? Because I've been helping humans for over 30 years. And I would get people to share, tell me what your mind really tells you. And I won't even tell you what some people's minds tell them. The evil, the thoughts, the negative, the hate, the shame, the self-talk of abuse. Forget about external abuse. Most people are abusing themselves inside. When you shift all of this, change it, the whole world changes. Okay, little bit of value or massive value? Come on, lay it on me here. Okay, I'm gonna have to change my shirt. I'm doing another talk at 9 o'clock tonight. We're going for 30 minutes. We got to finish up. We got to keep going here. 9 o'clock, I'm doing another one. Someone out there, Gene Slade. I'm going to be live on his, laying some more stuff down. So if you want to join me, I don't know where the link is. Go look him up. All right, number 4, what drives you? Okay, the 4th step here, okay, is you got to know what drives you. You need a strong purpose. Now, purpose changes over time, but purpose will inspire you even on the days when you don't feel like doing the work. When I got on, myself, my wife, Aaron, the team, man, we had a lot of just things not aligned the way we expected today to be. And when I got on the training, I was still trying to eat food 5 minutes to 7. I told my wife, you're going to have to wrap it up because I'm not going to be late. I don't do that stuff. And I said, I'm thankful for the universe teaching me patience today. Teaching me patience. Now, I could just dislike, hate, be aggravated, anger, frustrated. I just thank you for the patience. And I'm like, holy crap. And then I sat on with American Express for 45 minutes and we still didn't accomplish the task we needed to. So like, I was like, okay, what am I learning here? Right. But a strong purpose will be an inspirational movement that attracts other people. This is all I ever wanted to do, is evolve to the next movement. When I built Gold Medal, my movement was to create a level of service in New Jersey that homeowners never experienced. I wanted a culture of 200 warriors that would work with me, not for me, that would partner with me in a culture where they would be, I did not want employees. I wanted team members. And the most important thing to me was that they would become a better father, a better husband, a better son, a better to the community. Because then it was easy to make money when you make people better. Any of you that own a business, it's really a secret sauce. I learned the number one thing. If you want to see employees that go, I call it from good employees to like struggling employees, tell me if this is true. They go from great to struggle because their life turns upside down. Is that true? Look, I had 200 of them and I've been through a lot of them. And I found that out. When you have customers, does anybody do B2B? Do you do B2B? Anybody? Type in B2B if you do B2B. How do clients of yours go from great clients to struggling clients? I'll tell you exactly. Their life flips upside down. Right, Tim? Jeff, if your customer's life flips upside down, they no longer are a good customer. They're a struggling customer. I solved it. That's why transforming humanity. That's the what? Who? One person at a time. Because if you fix the way people function, you fix the world. You fix everything. Everything gets removed. Now, I understand there's forces trying to keep you like, hey, you can't do it. There's family that doesn't think you can do it. There's family that does not want to grow. Some of you have family right now wondering why the hell you're on this training at 8:00 at night. Is that type impossible? Is that a possibility? Is somebody wondering why the hell you're training now? Like, what are you doing? Like American Idol's on. Like, shouldn't you be watching? You're like, my life's not going to grow watching. Now, I'm not telling you not to watch things. I love watching TV too, but I don't watch it at the sacrifice of personal growth. Right? Okay, give me a boom in the chat bar. You guys are doing amazing. Let's talk about number 5. Create more energy. The 5th step is to create more energy in your life to fuel your momentum and accelerate your results. Now, a lot of you know me for a long time. Those of you that know me, am I normally like I showed up or am I different? Tell me in the chat bar. Am I always like this or is this an act or something? Those of you that know me, tell me. Sherry says always. Anybody else? Like always like this, consistent, the same, always, right? Because every one of you, now this is what the scientists say. They say that you have as much energy inside of you as a damn star in space. I believe that. So the question is, how do we unlock it? How do we unlock it? There's a lot of parts of that, right? The mind, the body, spirit, a lot of areas to unlock it. When you unlock it and you take energy, and that energy is aligned with a mind, okay? That energy is aligned with a mind. And your body vehicle is strong, powerful, you could change the world. You could change your world, whatever your world is. Look, some of you just need to get some damn money in the bank. Some of you just need to fix your relationship. Some of you got to fix your health. The common denominator to fix all things is the mind, and the energy helps power the mind. Look at it as like a super generator, like a generator. Like in school, we did one of those, like little generators. You cranked it up and it produced electricity, right? Imagine that's what the energy field is. The more the mind, the more we can make different decisions, the more we can create this level of energy where you're not going to bed at 8:00 fatigued and don't want to get up out of bed. All of this can be improved. I promise you, all of you. So number 5 is energy. And how many of you know there's another type in energy? If you know there's another level of energy and you just like been waiting to unlock it, you just want to know, give me the key, put it in and show me how to unlock that. Because look, I'm a believer there's at least this one life. Whatever you believe after, I always find it a little bit interesting. I'll probably ruffle some feathers now. People go, oh, you die. But if you believe in heaven, then did you really die, or you just relocated to a different place? Right? It's just like a relocation vehicle. That's it. That's when you wonder, like, the alignment of people's belief with their power. Right? If you believe in heaven, you're not going to die. You're just going to relocate your ass somewhere else. It's good. Might as well bring energy up there, right? I'm sure there's some work to be done. Okay, let's go for number 6. Number 6 is you have to know your desired outcome. You have to be ultra clear. People go like this. They say, I want a bigger house. Okay, so like if I take a refrigerator cardboard box from a refrigerator and I bolt it onto your house, like, are you good? It's a bigger house, right? Like if we put an Everlast shed against your house, we did it. It's a bigger house. Like, people are not clear on what they're saying, and you cannot create what you desire without ultimate clarity. When I would speak, which I'm going to be speaking, I got a lot of speaking stuff coming. Well, I'm speaking now to you guys, right? And I'll be speaking on Gene Slade's thing tonight. And Friday, I'm speaking for Lee Miltier, another great person. Today, I spoke for Jim Palmer in the morning. And one thing that I know is when I would speak at these big events, and some people here probably were there, I would say, okay, who wants to make more money? And they go, yeah. And I'd give them $1. And I'd say, okay, you can leave. And they would go, come on, Mike, it's just $1. I said, okay, here's the 20. And they go, I need more than 20. I said, you said you need more money. You didn't tell me how much. You're not clear. Most people, and you're going to want to write a note, most people are not clear because they fear they can't get what they're getting clear about. But wait a second, you're never going to even attempt to get with lack of clarity. With lack of clarity, you have to be really clear. Now, I get it. David, every now and then, guys, Tim, I get somebody, right? John, I get somebody that says to me, hey, Nick, there's more than, money's not everything, they tell me. This is what they tell me, okay? They say to me, money's not everything, Michelle. And I say, perfectly well said from a broke ass individual. I said, money may not be everything, but I'll tell you what, the person who has no food, money is everything. Money is everything. So I tell people, when you're done telling yourself the story about money, why don't you get over yourself and make it so you could give it away? Make it and give it away to help someone else, right? But if you look at the desired outcome, this is a really easy way to go about it. Now, most people try to say, if I said to you, go create 100 million, you would go like, well, how the hell am I going to do that? That's not the first question. The first question is, what do you want to do? 100 million, right? Okay. Like, who could help me get there? Where is the 100 million? When do I want to have it by? Why? Then I could build the how to all of this. How many of you desire a bigger future? Like, there's something bigger you want. Like, you want financial freedom. You want to be with the love of your life. You want to find the love of your life. You want to be physically fit. You want to be healthy. You want to remove, maybe you're fighting with some kind of sickness. Like, I will tell you that when you know the desired outcome, the brain, the mind, the body, the spirit, everything starts to align with it. Then we could do the work. Then we could do the magic. How many of you know you need more clarity on number 6? Type in number 6. You're like, yeah, my wife and I say we want to, people that retire. Let me tell you what retirement is. It's stopping what you've hated forever. That's what retirement is, everybody. It's stopping what you hated forever, or for how long you're doing it. Nobody ever retires from what they love. They don't. My mom always says, she's like, you're always working. I'm like, I'm never working. She's like, really? You're always doing something. I said, but it's not work to me. If it was work to me, why would I be here at 10 after 8 with you guys? This is not work to me. This is one of my favorite things in the world to do, to know that I'm impacting somebody that could. Are you feeling impacted a little bit? Type in impact. I don't want you to feel motivated. Motivated, the shit will be gone by tomorrow. if you're motivated. I don't want you motivated. There's a lot of people out there, they motivate you, you clap, you're excited. Tomorrow, you're still struggling. I'm giving you action steps, right? Get clear on your outcome. I'm giving you a plan, a blueprint. Yes, you could be motivated with the blueprint, but without a blueprint, you can't get the desired result. Let's go for number 7, relentless action. Okay. Massive relentless action every single day. After you've done what most others will think is too much, do more. Do more of it. Look, this will take you into your future. I don't fear the economy. I don't fear recessions. Shit, Lou Police was through a recession with me in a company. I didn't fear those things. You know why? Because there's an indicator. When you align everything I taught you, when your mind is aligned, your energy is aligned, your clarity is aligned, and you have relentlessness behind you, you could do anything. Anything. Impact anything, create anything, build anything, solve anything. Want to build companies, want to sell companies, want to build charities, whatever you want to do. But without relentless action, you're in a state of waiting. Okay, let's do a little light test of action. How many things are sitting in your Amazon inbox right now? Let's see what kind of action takers you guys are. How many? Come on, be honest with me. How many things are in your inbox? You're going to Amazon now to check? Okay, Lou says 0. I ain't buying nothing unless it's for your grandson, right? Unless it's for your grandson. Okay, 0. Okay, we got a lot of people with 0. Because probably 30. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we probably don't have much in there, but it's on the porch every day, right? You would think we're running a warehouse here. We go through so much stuff between stuff we're sending clients and things for our house and trips and all this. Here's the thing. Relentless action happens in everything, not just business, not just life, relentless action in your relationship. How many of you need to connect deeper with your relationship right now? Tell me, how many of you know there's another level of connection? Type in connection in the chat bar. Well, if you know there's another level of connection, then you have to take relentless action. Relentless action. That means you don't wait for tomorrow. You start today. If you're busy waiting for the other person to start, if you're waiting for the other person to get started first, this is not a good plan. Lead by example, you start. In relationships, the one person's always waiting for the other one to start. You start. If you're committed, commit more. You go for it with relentless action. All right, type in relentless if all of you are going to just get a little more relentless. All right, now let's start to put a ribbon around this thing. We know that the mind controls all outcomes. And what if you could use your mind to change any situation in your life? Like change any. I love this picture right here, right? Type in mind if I close some gaps for you that you really understand now what's possible for you. Now we're only together like an hour and 15 minutes, 90 minutes, right? But I wanted to at least touch base here and let you know the land of possibility that's here for you. The ability to have what you want. The ability to live the way you want, the ability to connect the way you want, the ability to, and I get it, like there is things that get thrown in your world, right? Like you're trying to get healthier and then you got a knee problem. You're trying to get healthier and you have a sugar problem or a diabetes problem. Or like none of these are reasons to quit. They're reasons to move forward faster. Move forward faster. Okay. Let me just let you know the dates again in case some of you have joined. So if some of you joined late, we have a training coming up in June. It's virtual, okay? Makes it super convenient. It's nighttime. It's 7 to 9:30. What the hell are you doing at nighttime anyway? Okay? And it's called Mind Power Unlimited Potential. Over the 3 weeks, 2 nights a week over 3 weeks, we are going to shred out limiting beliefs. We are going to remove shame. We're going to remove guilt. We have a process. We're going to teach you how to map out your past, everything that's stacked to create the software system you have. And we are going to take the most updated version software, like the most updated Microsoft software, and we are going to put the software inside of you so that you could function at a whole new level. Now, I hope some of you will join us. The team will put the links in there. You have the QR code. I hope you'll consider it. If you want to join us, just type in interested in the chat bar. My team's going to get your email. We're going to reach out. We'll let you know everything that's involved with the training. I do want to urge you a little bit. Something that my wife and I have done for decades is doing a training alone is fun. Doing it with others is impactful. The more people that think the same way, the more change you're going to get in your life, your world, and with people. My wife and I used to sponsor people to go to trainings. Why? Because it makes no sense to grow while everyone else around you is suffering, right? Why do I do these free trainings? Because I want to remove any excuses from anybody that's hurting, suffering, or has pain or anything. I want no restrictions that somebody in the world, like everybody could. And if you know, now that you went through this training, everybody, do you know people that should have listened to this training? Tell me. You don't have to humor me. If you don't, you don't. But do you know people that should listen to this training? Simple. My team will put the link. Invite them to the Facebook group. Go get the free training, right? If you have kids, as long as you don't mind the random curse words, tell your kids, I want you to watch this 90-minute training. I'll pay you $50 for it. Just sit there and watch it and tell me what you learned, right? Because this is the things that are going to shift people. You don't want to just grow alone. You want to grow together so you could all expand together. This is how the world will completely change. This is how the world will shift. Okay. You might want to take a picture of this one. You're welcome to, or go to the replay, take it later. Master your mind to master your life. Now, it says Hanchi Agugliaro. That's a martial arts term for high-level martial artist. After 30 years, 8th degree, I earned the name of Hanchi. But this is what's so important for all of you. If you could just wake up today or wake up tomorrow, depending where you're at in the world, because we've got people all over the world on here, and say to yourself, how can I just do a little bit more of mastering my mind today? And it will become clear to you that to master your mind, ready? Let me give you one more, at least I think it's one more big boom before you go. And I'm going to unshare this. So take a picture or write it down if you need it. Okay, boom. In order, hey, right, you know, when you're sharing the screen, you can only see, Lou, you can only see like a little strip of like 5 people. Now you're all here. So nice to see all of you here. So in order for you to grow something, you normally have to kill something else. Okay. In order to have a new thought, an improved thought, an enhanced thought, you got to kill a thought that's not serving you no more. And you guys know what those thoughts are. How many of you, let's be a little transparent because we're all friends and family here now. How many of you are really good at kicking your own ass and saying things in your mind? I watch people in the world do something and go, oh, that I'm stupid. I'm like, why in the world would you ever call yourself stupid? Like, do you understand what happens to you when you do that? I'm like, you're not stupid. You just you now know a way not to do something, right? You know now, don't do it that way. You're not stupid. Or people, I'm clumsy. No, you're not clumsy. You just keep hitting the wall. You must need to be reminded of something. I hope this was super valuable for you guys. I hope that you will share it with other people. I'd love for you to go in the group. We embrace you in the group. We love having you in our world. Invite other people to the Facebook group because that whole group is about personal growth and mindset mastery, about helping people expand and grow. And together we'll remove suffering as we work on it together. If any of you are interested in the training, you could send me a private message. They're giving you emails to reach out. They're hooking up with you. We'll get in touch with you. We'll do a quick call with you. We'll let you know what's involved with the training. We'll get you in, and I'd love to have you on that. Plus, I'm going to say something, Lou. I probably should be careful about saying it. I'm going to say it. Every time my birthday comes up, I do a big list of things that I learned. Last time it was level 51. So I think I shared 51 insights, right? So I don't know about you. I'm going to be level 52. Type in 52 if you'd like me to share 52 powerful insights with you, and we'll just like knock it out of the park for all of you. If you're into it, I'm going to make a space to do it. I don't know if it will be exactly on my birthday. I got to see what's planned with, because it's my son's birthday, and see what's planned with the family, but it will be within a day or so of it. We'll knock it out of the park together. I am so excited to have all of you here. I appreciate all of you. I wish you an amazing future of mind and power. That's it. Love you guys. Boom.